I'm your little helper. Welcome to Dafeng Driving School to learn how to drive. This video will walk you through our track test course and the test sections. Here is our training ground. First, the yellow area represents the entire testing area. The pink area is our first test zone. And the blue area is the second test zone. Each zone has its own set of sections, but some sections are shared between both zones. First, both zones have the S-curve forward and reverse test. And then parallel parking by the roadside. The third section is reverse parking into a garage. The following tasks are shared between the two zones. Intersection. Pedestrian crossing. Uphill parking and starting. Railroad crossing. Straight line gear change test. That's all the sections. Did everyone get that? Before we start driving for Real, there are a few more things you need to know. When you see a tip pop up, that means it's something important to pay attention to. When you see the green arrow, it means you need to signal. When you see this symbol, it means you need to turn your head to look around. When you see tutorial, it means a detailed guide for that particular section. Remember that this video is just for supplemental teaching, as each teacher has their own teaching style. Please follow the instructions of your own teacher. Alright, let's get this lesson started. Before getting in and driving, we need to do a quick vehicle inspection. Start from the front left tire, press the tire with your hands and feet, and say, tire pressure and tread are normal. Walk to the front of the car to check the vehicle and say, the exterior looks normal. Squat down to inspect the undercarriage and say, no objects under the car, no water or oil leaks. Then, move to the front right tire and repeat the process, checking all four sides of the vehicle one by one. First, turn your head left and right to look. Open the door about 15 centimeters, then turn your head to check again. Get in the car. After getting into the car, before you start driving, make sure to check everything and say each item you check out loud. Adjust the seat position. Adjust the backrest. Adjust the headrest. Fasten the seatbelt. Adjust the left mirror, right mirror, and rear view mirror. If no adjustments are needed, just point with your finger. Make sure the gear is in neutral and the handbrake is pulled up. Turn the key to start the car's power, but do not start the engine yet. After turning on the power, the dashboard lights will turn on. Point to them and say, brake system warning light. Engine light. Battery indicator light. Oil pressure light are all on. Then, check the fuel level. For example, fuel level is above half. After finishing the checks, press the clutch and brake pedals, turn the key to start the engine, release the handbrake, and say, all dashboard lights are off. Before moving, signal right and look around, front, back, and both sides. Here, compared to other places where you only need to turn your head left and right, you also need to include the action of turning your head forward and backward. This is the first section, S-curve forward and backward. Once your rear wheels have crossed the sensor line, it means you've completed the S-curve forward. Just be careful not to let the front bumper over the yellow line ahead. Switch to reverse gear to do the S-curve in reverse. When moving forward in the S-curve, make sure not to drive over the sensor lines on either side. If you do, you'll fail the test. Slow down a bit and drive carefully. If you go too fast, it might catch you off guard. When reversing, first look at the left side mirror. You'll be able to see that your car is maintaining a certain distance from the sensor line. Use the steering wheel to control that distance. In the mirror, you'll notice a curved-shaped refuge land. When this refuge land is blocked by your car, switch to the right side mirror. Once the curved refuge land appears in your right side mirror and aligns parallel to your car, straighten the steering wheel. And continue maintaining a certain distance between the right side of your car and the sensor line. Before exiting the S-curve, make sure to slightly straighten the steering wheel, because the refuge land isn't completely curved, it has a small straight section. Be careful not to scrape the refuge island when turning, and make sure the wheels don't cross over the white diagonal lines of the painted island. Now, the second section, parallel parking by the roadside. Make sure to turn the right signal back on immediately if it automatically turns off due to steering the wheel. As long as the left side wheels are fully inside the parking space, you've completed this task. Before parallel parking, align your steering wheel with the arrow markings on the ground. This helps keep your car on the right side of the road, otherwise, it'll be much harder to park properly. Look at the right side mirror, and you'll notice the right front door handle lines up pretty closely with the rear wheel. Use the door handle to keep track of where your rear wheel is. Once your rear wheel passes the tip of the refuge island, crank the steering wheel all the way to the right. Then, check your left side mirror. Keep reversing to the right. And you'll notice a triangle forming in the mirror between your car, the parking line, and the refuge island. When you see this triangle, adjust your steering wheel and back up straight. When you see the left rear wheel touch the parking line, turn the steering wheel all the way to the left. Keep going until the left front wheel is also inside the parking space, then you're done. Remember that as soon as you leave the parking space, you'll need to turn right, so don't forget to turn on your right signal. Also, watch out for the painted island on the left and the refuge land on the right when making the turn. Before moving on to the next section, you can align your steering wheel with the arrow markings on the ground. It'll make driving smoother. Now it's time for the third section, reverse parking into a garage. Usually, before completing these 3 sections, your examiner will be standing outside watching your driving. After you finish the reverse parking into a garage, the examiner will get in the car, so make sure to follow their instructions. When doing reverse parking, keep an eye on the right side mirror to maintain a certain distance between the car and the sensor line. However, don't leave too much space, or your left side might not have enough space, causing you to cross the sensor line. So, don't just focus on the right side mirror, remember to take a look at the left side mirror too. Keep an eye on the rear wheels. Don't park too far in, or you might cross the sensor line. Next is the driving around the course. Before reaching an intersection, pay attention to the signals. Remember, do not run a red light, and when the light is red, do not let the front bumper cross the stop line. When turning, be careful of the right side printed island. Do not cross over it. When you see a pedestrian crossing, slow down and stop to yield to pedestrians. Make sure to bring your speed down to 0, coasting slowly is not allowed. Next is parking uphill. Align your steering wheel with the second sensor line from the left. When parking, make sure to park your front wheels inside the red printed space. After parking, pull up the handbrake and shift to neutral. Wait for the examiner's instructions before continuing. Shift into first gear, check left and right before moving. And make sure the car doesn't slide back or cross the sensor lines. In this section, make sure not to stall the engine or let the car slide back. You need to control the accelerator and clutch well, which tests your coordination between both feet. When going downhill, do not slide in neutral. After going downhill, you'll reach a railway crossing. Stop at the X-marked area on the ground. Wait for the signals to turn off before moving forward. This is a sharp turn. Slow down and make sure not to cross the white line on the ground. When you see the ting sign, it means you need to stop and make sure it's safe before continuing. The next section is the straight line gear change test. We need to shift from first gear to third gear in sequence on this straight road. When approaching the intersection, shift back to first gear. When you shift to different gears to slow down without using the brake, that's called engine braking. Students taking the test in the first test zone will pass through a traffic light again before reaching the finish line. Remember not to run the red light, or it could mess up your whole test. This is a tutorial for uphill starting. Step on the brake and clutch pedals, shift into first gear, and release the handbrake. Then, slowly lift the clutch pedal. Don't let it up too fast, or the car might stall. You'll feel a slight vibration, that's the clutch starting to engage. Finally, gently press the gas pedal while continuing to ease off the clutch pedal, and you'll move forward without stalling. When you reach the finish line, don't rush to get out of the car, there are still a few things to take care of. Shift to neutral, pull up the handbrake. Turn off the engine. Unfasten your seatbelt. When getting out of the car, remember to use the two-stage door opening method again. And now you have completed the track test perfectly. By watching this video, I'm sure you now have a better understanding of the track test content. Now, it's all about practicing on your own. Remember to look left, right, and behind before starting from the starting point. Then, whenever you stop and need to start again, before making a turn, or before entering an intersection, be sure to check both the left and right sides. Make this a habit. Also, make sure you remember to signal. If you forget during the test, you'll fail, so be careful. Thank you for watching. Dafeng Driving School wish you the best of luck on your test.